Looks like this nice little folk song's not going to make it. Billboard's Hot 100 the week of June the 15th, 1963. The Shacklefords with A Stranger in Your Town at number 83, down 13 notches from 70 the previous week. It was moving up. The week before that it was at 76, and the week before that it was at number 80, so it was moving up and now it's dropping. But the Shacklefords, no fears about this about the Shacklefords. They're a folk band based out in L.A. The two guys who are in this band let me go back just a minute. Let me just go back just a minute. The band was assembled by Lee Hazelwood and Marty, the other one was Marty Cooper. These were producers and songwriters. Marty Cooper worked with the Marathons. He worked with Bobby Bare. Lee Hazelwood, oh my God. Well, most people have never heard of Lee Hazelwood, but he was kind of a titan at least behind the mainstream music, although maybe not so mainstream in the late 50s. He recorded Dwayne Eddy back in the late 50s. Rabble Rouser, Dwayne Eddy's biggest hits. He recorded that. Lee Hazelwood would later work with Nancy Sinatra. He did duets with her like Jackson in the late 60s. He also wrote and produced her breakthrough hit, These Boots Are Made for Walking. He also produced Something Stupid, her duet with Frank Sinatra. I mean, this guy, he's a big wheel behind the scenes, Lee Hazelwood. If you read about the music history of the 60s, it's likely you're going to run into Lee Hazelwood's name. Now back to the Shacklefords. Lee Hazelwood and Marty Cooper, they assembled the Shacklefords. It was either a 4 or 5 man group, 4 or 5 person group. They put out, now they were along the lines of the Limelighters. Glenn Yarborough comes to mind, and also they sound a lot like the Kingston Trio. Folk music along that genre. They put out an album called Until You've Heard the Shacklefords, You Ain't Heard Nothing Yet. And not only did the group play on this, but they used session musicians, including Hal Blaine, the drummer, the legendary session drummer Hal Blaine, who played on loads of 60s songs on the West Coast back in the 60s. MacArthur Park by Richard Harris, and just a slew of songs in the 60s he played on. And James Burton, he played on this album too. James Burton, Ricky Nelson's sign man. He also, before he became Ricky Nelson's sign man in the 50s, he also played on Del Hawkins' Susie Q. So here we are, number 83, a lost 45, the Shacklefords, A Stranger in Your Town.